What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Domuto. We're back with another video. I know, man. I need to stop. There's gonna be another excuse. Internet was trash. Finally got it back up, so we're about to get back into this reaction thing. You know what I'm saying? I hate not getting reactions up, man. I hate it myself. So, but let's get into it, man. Let's get into it, man. We about to watch Beyond Dragon Ball Super. Super Saiyan Blue Goku trains with Ultimate Gohan. Destroyer Rhino's plan. Alright, let's get into it, man.
As our story now continues following the events of Goku going out and searching for a second ally and joining Team Universe 7 to battle against Team Universe 13, as with Whis now shown having to address a very concerned Beerus, it was only upon with Whis now being shown doing so where Whis went on to then respond, "Now I know what you might say, Lord Beerus, however I would encourage for you to start training a bit more, especially now that the former gods of destruction and their universes have been restored and brought back into existence following the Tournament of Power, but of course that is your call to make after all, and so I do think that it would be for the better, especially if something were to happen to our fighters if they failed to win against Lord Reno's selected warriors after all," with Beerus then chiming in, "And why exactly is that, Whis? Is it because you don't think that I have what it takes to beat that annoying god of destruction in a one-on-one fight? I'll just say it, Whis, and for the record, in case I want to start training again, then it's not because of those destroyers having to return, but rather because I wanted to, you hear me? And so now let's just wait and see who that Saiyan will choose before we start doing anything around here, Whis. And so until then, we will wait." To which all the while when venturing back on over to Earth, we only from that point went as far as to see how Goku and Gohan had met up with Dende, as Goku then went on to respond, "Oh, it's so good to see you again, Dende, and I can't thank you enough for letting me and Gohan borrow and use the time chamber for a little while, so I promise that we won't take too long in there," Goku continues. "We just have a few things to touch up on before we head out and battle against Universe 13's warriors, including their god of destruction, and so we aren't going to take long in there, I promise," with Dende responding, "Well, sure thing, Goku, but I hope you know what you're doing, because fighting against another universe's god of destruction, along with two of his top-tier fighters, doesn't sound like it's going to be any fun. But of course, you know that I'm rooting for the two of you, and so you guys can go and use the time chamber for as long as you see fit. Well, even though you only have but a few hours remaining after all, but I hope that you are both able to get the most out of it," with Goku then responding, "Oh, you bet, thank you so much, Dende, and I promise that me and Gohan aren't going to destroy the chamber from the inside, but with the few hours that we do have, we're going to try to make the most of it, so thank you," with Gohan chiming in, "You can count on us, Dende, so don't worry." Oh gosh, can you believe that it's been years since you and I were last seen walking inside of this place to train, Dad? It almost feels like an eternity since the days when you trained me to battle against Cell, and now look at us, with Goku responding, "It sure has, Gohan. It almost feels like it happened yesterday, but either way, I need you at your very best while inside with me and nothing less, especially since it's been a while since you and I actually trained together for something." "Well, whatever you're planning on doing in there, Dad, I'll be ready," Gohan responds. "I may be just a tad bit rusty, but that won't be an issue for much longer," Gohan continues. "And besides, I can't allow for myself to remain in your shadow forever, right, Dad? So maybe this could be the beginning of something special that will come out of our training," Gohan continues. "You always said that if I was given enough time and if I had my head in the game, that I'd probably be the strongest warrior among all of us, right? So maybe this could be the start of something great," Gohan says, with Goku chiming in, "Well, you know I've always encouraged for you to go out there and never stop training, right, Gohan? So I have no doubt in my mind that you'll be able to achieve something special one day, and I can't wait to see it. And let's just hope that those Universe 13 fighters that Lord Reno is going to bring aren't going to be anything like Jiren was when I fought him during the Tournament of Power, or we'll be in big trouble," with Gohan responding, "Well, actually, speaking of, have you and Vegeta ever heard from Jiren ever again since the tournament ended? And I'd assume that he'd want his rematch since I'm sure he's gotten much stronger since then, right? Or did it already happen?" with Goku responding, "Actually, come to think of it, we haven't heard from Jiren since, but I'm sure that he's gotten way stronger too. But first, let's worry about this new destroyer, and then we'll worry about everything else afterwards. To which Dende then went on to chime in, well, I hope you guys do all that you can do in here. I set the timer for approximately 6 hours, and so I wish you both well. Oh, and try not to go too hard on Gohan there, Goku. He's still a little fresh after all, but I'll leave you both to it. To which Gohan then surprisingly went on to chime in, as a matter of fact, I do hope that you go all out against me here, Dad. I didn't come here to be lectured by you,
they change the attitude real quick.
And I'm honestly starting to get a little tired here with the way you and Vegeta are starting to look at me, and so if you're going to go all in, then so will I, Dad. With Goku questioning, wait, so you don't want us to start from the bottom, but want me to go all out with you? With Gohan responding, Dad, I've seen your power reach incredible heights, the likes of which I couldn't even dream of. And because of how far you've pushed yourself into becoming who you are today, then I too want to push myself beyond anything that I could have ever have imagined too, Gohan says. So please use your absolute strongest levels of power against me. And I don't want to just follow in your footsteps, Dad. I want to be able to walk beside you and Vegeta as an equal one day, and I want to get there by carving my own path in life to do it. So please use everything you've got, just like when you did when you trained me when I was a little boy to fight Perfect Cell, Gohan continues. Our battles have shaped me into who I am today, and so let's make this training session the most memorable one yet, and that's by using your full power against me while I use my full power against you. So what do you say? You ready? Oh man, you're actually very serious, aren't you, Gohan? I haven't seen you this fired up in a very long time, but you do have a point, because I'm not here to lecture you or to put you down in any kind of way, but you do make a very strong point.
I like this, Gohan.
So come on then and show me what you're all
Pull up
about,
on that little bitch ass nigga
I
Goku.
always knew that if you put
He
your
ain't
mind
like
into
you anyway.
your training, that nobody would ever come close in touching you. Me and Vegeta never looked down on you as being someone who could never reach our godly levels of power, but if there's one thing that I will say, it's that whenever you are at your most serious is when you are at your most dangerous, Gohan. So let's have at it and get started. To which, as Gohan and Goku are now shown dashing towards each other, it was only just before the two were then shown having to clash where Gohan then went on to respond, you always said that a warrior's greatest obstacle was going to be himself, but since you're standing in the way of me getting to where I'd like to be, then it's time for me to move you out of my way, Dad. To where within that very moment, as Gohan was shown having to throw a punch, with Goku being shown having to duck on under before blocking off Gohan's kick, was when Goku went on to respond, well, that's fine by me if you think that you can move me, Gohan, and if you think you're ready to take me on at my best, then I want you to prove it to me. With Gohan then responding, also, is that how you truly feel? You don't think that I truly can? Well, you should know better than anyone to never underestimate my potential or back me into a corner, Dad. In which, from out of nowhere, the moment Gohan was then shown having to uppercut Goku in the stomach was when Gohan then went on to continue, and you should also remember that if anyone knows you and knows how you are and when you're taking things seriously, then you should look no further than your own son. And so if we're going to fight these guys, then I'll need you to come at me with everything you have, just like I asked for you.
That's what I like to see.
Anything less than you'd only be wasting my time in here, Gohan continues. So you're all out of options but to come at me with everything you've got. To which Goku then went on to say to himself, oh darn, I didn't think that Gohan would have taken this as seriously as he's putting out right now. Oh, and if I'm not careful, then he'll send me crashing through the chamber door. Well, I guess I'm left with no other choice, especially if this is how Gohan plans to train with me in here. To which, as Goku was now shown having to land back on his feet, it had only now become painfully clear that indeed Gohan had meant business, as Goku then went on to continue, oh, I gotta make sure that I don't break through the door, and there we go. Phew, oh, that was close. With Gohan then responding, so do I have your attention now or what, Dad? The last time you and I trained like this was before the Tournament of Power started, when I fought your Super Saiyan Blue form. And believe it or not, since that time, I've managed to strengthen my ultimate form and reaching new heights with with its power, Gohan continues. And if I'll need to force you into using Ultra Instinct against me, then that's exactly what I'm going to do, with Goku responding, and how can I forget? You're actually a lot stronger than I thought you'd be, Gohan. And I can also now see that Universe 13 is going to have a much tougher fight on their hands than they realize, especially if that's how you're going into this. But what makes you think that I'll need to use my Ultra Instinct against you to win, Goku?
Oh shit.
I think Super Saiyan Blue ought to be enough to get the job done here, as an agitated Gohan went on to respond, what did you just say? Fine, then so be it. If that's how you want to play, then I'll just have to beat you down into forcing you to use your Ultra Instinct against me, Gohan then went on to power up by shouting, it's all or nothing and I'm not backing down, Dad. So if you don't think that you'll need to draw that power out against me, then I'll just have to force your hand to do it. Wow, how amazing, Goku went on to chime back in. I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't impressed by what I see, Gohan. Now, our battles with Moro and his gang of thugs, along with that OG-73 android you fought, had really given you a massive boost, didn't it? It did, but I'm not going to ask you again, Gohan responds. And so if you expect for us to win against Universe 13, then I want you to hit me with your best so that way I can continue to evolve, to which, as Goku is now shown going back into blue, it had only now seemed as though Goku was very hesitant in using Ultra Instinct against Gohan, as Goku then went on to respond, fine by me then, Gohan, but if you're looking for me to use Ultra Instinct against you, then why don't you make me use it then? Come at me, to which, as Gohan was now shown doing,
get at that knuckle, Gohan.
Amazing. Gohan's gotten so strong since the last time I've trained with him that the difference in his power compared to before is like night and day. Oh, and so I've got to watch the way I move around him because he's fast. To which seconds later with Gohan
I like how he combined in manga and anime version of Dragon Ball Super.
Went on to continue, and I would never doubt your ability in any battle that you'd ever find yourself in, Gohan, but I'm not one who's just going to give you my all without making you work for it first. And so if you say that you want to evolve your power in ways that are different than me and Vegeta, then you better start trying to do it fast, because if you fall short, even if it's for a second, in becoming the strongest that you can possibly be, then how will you protect your family if you fail to reach that point, Gohan? And so if we're going to battle Universe 13's God of Destruction and his fighters, but then it was only shockingly enough before Goku could even go as far as to finish his sentence, where Gohan was shown having to grab onto Goku's arm by then responding, no, Dad, that's where you're wrong, because I would never allow for anything to ever happen to my family, no matter what. And so how else do you expect for me to get stronger if you're going to continue to hold back like this, Gohan then went on to question. Oh, get it together, Dad. I told you that I'm a lot stronger than how you remembered me being, and I also said that you'll need more than just Super Saiyan Blue if you want me to do this. And so we're not doing this so we can enter into this event and lose, Gohan then went on to continue. And if you want me at my best out there, then give me your best, Dad. Now this is going to be the last time that I tell you, and I won't ask you again. Either draw forth your strongest level of power, or I'm going to beat you into the ground. And so it's now or never. Now show me your Ultra Instinct, as Goku then went on to say to himself, fine, so be it, Gohan. I hope you're ready, to which upon Gohan now being shown missing one of his strikes was when Gohan then went on to shout, you aren't going anywhere because now I've got you. You aren't going to win. What? Oh, what just happened? He just completely disappeared, but that couldn't have been Dad's instant transmission technique because I didn't even see his body move. Oh, but where is he and what is he planning? But then it was only just as Gohan was now shown having to see a bright light having to emanate from the distance where Gohan then went on to continue, and what's that over there? A surge of light? And if that's what I think it is, then it looks like Dad's finally looking to go all out against me by using his Ultra Instincts. To which all the while in the meantime, when then venturing on over into Universe 13 and taking a look at seeing what God of Destruction Reno was up to, it was only just as an annoyed Reno was waiting for this event to actually begin was when Reno then went on to respond.
I keep saying Rino?
So I take it that you've informed our two mortal warriors of the coming event that will be taking place tomorrow, Pinota. And I trust that they are doing what they must in order to prepare for tomorrow. tomorrow's event, so are we all ready to go or not? With Angel Pinota responding, indeed they have, and they are as a matter of fact, Lord Reno. And with the way we've seen you demonstrate a small portion of your power against Universe 7's Goku, I don't think there is much for you to worry about. You of course did see how Lord Beerus had looked at you the moment we've arrived, didn't you? He's clearly afraid, my lord, and with our 2 warriors training to prepare to fight in your honor, Beerus's team doesn't have a chance, with Reno responding, excellent, then Beerus and his disgraceful universe of degenerates are doomed, especially if we are both given the permission that we need to fight against one another. I've longed to settle the score with that lousy, no-good destroyer. Beerus always had an ego about him that I never truly liked about him, as he always thought that he was the best among our kind until I had proven him wrong in battle. And as the dust settled after each confrontation against Lord Beerus, I stood victorious, confident in my position as being the mightiest god of destruction between
you built like that?
us. Beerus and I once stood as equals until I found a way to surpass him, and you should remember that moment because it was the day where Beerus's worst nightmares had been realized. The day when I stood over him as the strongest god before we had all been erased. And after all these years, now we will once again find out on who is the best among our title holders, Reno continues. And after all of these years, I couldn't believe on how weak he's gotten since the days of our great and mighty battles. Beerus is no different than his ridiculous brother Lord Champa. Our rivalry was the stuff of legends, but now it's time to put an end to it and determine who truly reigns supreme between us as being the stronger destroyer. And I am willing to bet that Beerus hasn't done any real training with Whis in thousands of years, Reno continues. And I can tell because I don't sense that same fire that I felt burning within his soul all of those years ago.
Oh,
and
shit.
if he's gotten soft over the decades, then that'll be his greatest downfall, especially when we fight again, that much I can guarantee. And I want Beerus to understand that I will always be the stronger of the two, that my power is unmatched and goes far beyond what he could ever hope to achieve against me, and that is in my nature after all. And so I don't plan on ever losing to Beerus in a duel ever again. Beerus may have enjoyed his reign in my absence, Reno continues, but it's time for him to step aside and acknowledge my supremacy, especially now that I am back and in full control of my universe. He could have his silly little Ultra Instinct, even though he was shown barely able to use it in battle against me before, because I have something even better over him, and that's raw power. Power that he experienced firsthand for himself to know that his Ultra Instinct isn't going to do much against, and power that he could only ever be envious of. And so it's only going to be a matter of time. He was once considered to be a very formidable adversary among us destroyers, but now look, he's grown frail and too comfortable for him to see the threat that I am and always was, but he'll soon see, Reno continues. It's a good thing that I got to him before the others did, because if the other resurrected destroyers want some, then they could get some too, just like Beerus once did. And I also hear that he screwed up a game of hide-and-go-seek with the other gods of destruction, and so how typical of Beerus to make enemies along the way, but they'll all have to wait in line, and that line starts behind me.
That nigga Reno
And
will
for
smoke
his sake, he
with that
better
nigga
pray
Beerus.
that the Grand Minister declines our request, especially if he wishes not to get embarrassed like how I've embarrassed him in battle before. And unlike Beerus, I don't need to train to prepare for him, for I have grown much more powerful in my absence, and I am ready to demonstrate the depths of my newly found strength against him and his silly little gang of worms. I am the toughest destroyer among all those who currently hold the title of God, and I will prove it by besting the so-called strongest destroyer of them all for starters. The other revived gods can wait their turn, because now that I have Beerus's attention, I will make sure and stop at nothing thing to break that weakling down just like I did before, to which it was only right then and there now within that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the resurrected fallen gods of destruction, the Universe 13 saga manga
5 minutes left
chapter
in the video.
4 special then comes to a close. Now before anything else, I do want to go on ahead now and shed more information and give you guys a bit more context as to not only for the current timeline placement of this story, to which, as of course you guys can see on your screen, I've gone as far as to clarify all of this information up before, even after the story of the top 5 strongest warriors was over, and that is the current story right now that you guys are witnessing is only one small piece, one saga among 6 others, in which the Universe 13 saga is supposed to take place 3 days after the ending of the Moral arc, but before the events of Superhero and Granola, as right after the Universe 13 saga is over and done with, the Universe 14 saga is supposed to take place 2 days after the events of the Granola arc, but before Superhero, as straight after that, the Universe 15 saga is going to be taking place 1 day after the events of the Superhero arc, and then following that, the Universe 16 saga, the Universe 17 saga, the Universe 18 saga, and the Legendary Gods saga is all going to be taking place after the events of the Superhero arc, to which, as of course you guys can see here on your screen, all of this is going to ultimately come back and connect back to the top 5 strongest warriors in the multiverse sequel, in which even at the very end of the top 5 strongest warriors in the multiverse story, I went out of my way to put specifically that the Grand Priest had gone as far as to elaborate to Goku and company that there exists an Omniverse to which the Omni Kings are going to hold a second tournament of power, and so all of these stories, including this one, are not set before the top 5 or after the top 5, but instead everything that you see right now is simply taking place in a different reality, in a different timeline, and when the time comes for the top 5 strongest warriors in the multiverse sequel to come out, the Omni Kings are going to go as far as to pull all of these characters into the Tournament of Power 2, which is going to be a gigantic tournament that's not only going to be a free-for-all style battle, but it's going to be very different than what people might expect for it to be, to which right now, if you also want to go on ahead and check out the first 36 characters that are going to be involved in this sequel, including having to have access to 2 additional episodes right now on my Patreon. So again, if you not only want to go as...
Alright, that boy really got some big plans. He got some big plans, you know what I'm saying? For the Universe 13 arc and on, you know, the Universal Omniverse, whatever, Tournament of Power shit too. But this was fire. Shout out to UnrealEntgaming. I can't wait to finish the story up, man. I can't wait to see my boy Gohan getting some love, some more love. I love it. I love seeing Gohan fight, man. You know what I'm saying? So if you like my reaction, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.